Okay, welcome everybody. Please be seated. We're all in. I want to welcome the families and guests of our 2019 graduates of the UC San Diego School of Medicine. I also want to welcome all of our alumni in the gold. We have representatives of every class. This is our 50th year of the School of Medicine. I'm Dr. Stephen Garfin, Dean of the School of Medicine, and honored to join you for our annual commencement ceremony. On behalf of the School of Medicine's faculty and staff, I congratulate you, the graduates, for what you have accomplished during your time here. Your scholarship, your hard work and creativity, and your service to the community. Thank you and congratulations. In addition to those who I will be introducing during the ceremony, so I won't take the time now from the platform, I'd like to acknowledge some on the platform who won't be standing up. First is the Chancellor's boss, Charlene Zettel, Regent of the University of California. Want to stand up? From San Diego County, Dr. Christopher Kane, Dean of Clinical Affairs. Gordon Young, Chair of the Committee on Educational Policy. Neil Chi, Co-Director of the Medical Scientist Training Program. Gary Firestein, Dean and Associate Vice Chancellor of Translational Medicine. Dr. Maria Rosario Araneda. She's the Assistant Dean for Diversity and Community Partnerships. We have a number of esteemed faculty here, and I can't introduce them all. I apologize for that. Let me just call out two people. Dr. James Schultz, can you stand up? He's president of the San Diego County Medical Society, and we thank the society for their support and working closely with us and our students over many, many years. And Dr. Daniel Blanchard. Dan? He's the chair of the School of Medicine Alumni Society. It's now my pleasure to introduce our Chancellor, Pradeep Khosla. He is an internationally renowned electrical and computer engineer. He's an elected member of several distinguished academies and the recipient of innumerable awards for his leadership, teaching, and research. He is exceptionally bright and astute. He listens and hears. The two don't always go together, unfortunately. He understands and quickly assesses situations. Traits, as medical professionals, you and we should all aspire to. Chancellor Khosla has expanded UC San Diego's vision to be a student-centered, service-oriented public university, not purely a research-focused institution, which improves opportunities for all of us and our community. Chancellor Khosla.
Thank you, Dean Garfin. Good morning and welcome. Welcome to the parents and the families. Welcome to UC San Diego and to the class of 2019. Congratulations. I am so very proud of each of you, and I celebrate every effort, every attempt, every failure, and every success that brought you to this impressive moment today. Each year, when I see our students graduate, especially our medical students, I'm reminded of what makes UC San Diego so unique. From the birth of our experimental campus, we made a commitment to exploration and discovery outside the norm, to move theory into practice and back again in a symbiotic manner, and we have always challenged our students, our faculty and clinicians, to look deeper at the world around them, to collaborate across disciplines and specialized fields of study in order to solve society's most pressing issues. The School of Medicine follows the same path to innovation. So while you are becoming excellently trained physicians and scientists, you are also taught to expedite the discovery of new diagnostic tools and treatments by using a collaborative, multidisciplinary, bench-to-bedside approach. It's called translational medicine, and there is no better place on earth to develop the skills necessary to practice this than at UC San Diego. Where else can a microbiologist and a physician work together to create a revolutionary medical treatment from a newly discovered marine microorganism, and then collaborate with an engineer and a physicist to test the potential outcomes with the assistance of a data scientist to leverage the power of San Diego Supercomputing Center? Where else except UC San Diego? Nowhere else. So be proud of this. It's who you are as Tritons, and I'm proud of you as Tritons. Your class alone volunteered countless hours at UC San Diego's free medical clinics, conducted Doc for a Day, and participated in numerous health fairs and community outreach programs. Not only did you learn practical medical skills, you also learned what it truly means to care for your fellow human beings. You've already transformed the lives of so many. You have proven to be as compassionate as you're brilliant, and that's the differentiating factor that separates you from other physicians and scientists. You will find cures and you will save lives. You will find ways to raise the standard of care and lower the barriers to cost-effective, equitable health care. You will give the phrase modern medicine a definition only dreamt of today. These things will happen, and you will make them happen. And speaking of dreams, I'm certain today is a dream come true for those of you, for those who have supported you for so many years, and those who are here today to acknowledge your graduating today. So I'd like to recognize these people, your family, friends, professors, mentors, and all of those who have helped you achieve this goal. Please give them a big hand. So as you leave, you'll have choices. So whether you go into primary care or other specialties, or choose research or careers in education, know that you too will make a positive difference, advancing your field and transforming lives. With your training and your expertise, and by virtue of being graduates of UC San Diego, people look to you for information and counsel. Educate, advocate, and stand up for them. You are the next generation of leaders, and we are looking to you to raise the bar. The character and passion of this UC San Diego School of Medicine class will take you far, but hopefully not too far away that you don't stay in touch, not too far away that you don't come back. I hope you come back often. And as Chancellor, there's one final point I want to emphasize, which is as you graduate today, remember, this is not just your university, this is also your home. So please come back often. We hope you stay connected, and we hope that through your hard work and service, you forge bonds with each other and with our campus. Nurture and maintain these relationships after graduation. And today, you become an integral part of our esteemed Triton alumni community, nearly 200,000 strong across the globe. So we all join with you today and celebrate this remarkable milestone of graduating from one of the world's finest universities, UC San Diego. So class of 2019, congratulations one more time.
Thank you, Chancellor Khosla. Graduates, we know you're excited for what lies ahead. Your careers and adventures are just beginning. In fact, you just passed the easy part. Your education and experiences at the School of Medicine have helped prepare you for your next chapters, not just as residents, but as lifelong professional learners, practitioners, and engaged community partners. You all know of our three stated academic missions: education, research, and clinical care. There is, however, a fourth, which we also hope you have learned here: social determinants, which includes understanding the medical effects of social behavior and environment, local and global public health issues, servicing the underserved, appreciate the value, importance, and richness of diversity, and reaching into untapped areas with new initiatives and understanding. Dr. Besser, I didn't just add this for you. As you go out in the world, though residency really doesn't free you completely, you will take the knowledge and skills you have acquired here, compassion, deductive reasoning, scientific approach, mentoring skills, public service, and put them to use. You will now be entering the most exciting and challenging profession, a career as doctors in medicine. 35 of you are staying in San Diego County for your residencies, including over 24 within UC San Diego Health. That means many of you will get the chance to provide patient care in our spectacular Jacobs Medical Center, the Komen Outpatient Facility, and the Altman Clinical and Translational Research Institute. Almost 70% of you are remaining in California, continuing our school's commitment to bringing the best medical care to communities throughout the state. No matter what path your career takes you, will be facing new issues and opportunities. All of us are proud of each and every one of you. I hope that you share that pride, not just in your own achievements, but also in your classmates and in the University of California, San Diego School of Medicine, like your fellow alums, your soon-to-be fellow alums are. So thank you. I would like to now welcome Dr. David Brenner, Vice Chancellor for Health Sciences. Dr. Brenner, like the Chancellor, is exceptionally bright, creative, insightful, and a visionary. The huge development, expansion, and increasing national and international acclaim we have witnessed over the years at the UCSD School of Medicine has been achieved in the last decade due in large part to Dr. Brenner and his amazingly hard, thoughtful, visionary, and indefatigable efforts. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Dean Garfin. The world has grown a lot since our School of Medicine first opened its doors in 1968. And what it means to become a doctor or scientist has evolved over the decades to mean something much more elaborate to all of us. You are trained clinicians and researchers, of course, but you will also be stewards of society's resources, medical economists, efficiency experts, disparity reductionists, big data gurus, and CEOs. You're entering a world as complex as the diseases you study and treat. But we know you will succeed. We know this because you went through our core curriculum and pursued electives and independent studies that took full advantage of the resources available at UC San Diego and the surrounding region, all of which helped you become aware of and responsive to community needs. In fact, I think our schools of medicine and pharmacy are more integrated with our health system than I found anywhere else. From your very first year, you learn from real-world cases, rounding in our clinics, and learning how to work in multi-specialty teams. What's more, science informs medicine, and medicine informs science. And so, you studied in our research labs, advanced our understanding of human diseases, and contributed to development of new diagnostics and therapeutics. So while medicine and science will continue to evolve, we are sure that you will be brilliant, you'll be successful, and you'll be compassionate. Congratulations, class of 2019. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brenner. I know this is all about you, but I'm going to divert for a minute or two to introduce and say some words about Dr. Maria Savoia. Dean of Medical Education, who is trying to retire this year. Dr. Savoia started at UCSD in internal medicine as a house officer in 1976. I started in 1975, so we've known each other a long time. She did a 4-year fellowship in infectious disease here, and fortunately for all of us, was asked to join the faculty in 1984. She joined the Dean's office in 1990 as an Associate Dean for Curriculum and Student Affairs. In 1994, she was appointed as Chief Academic Officer, and in 2003, the Dean for Medical Education. That's nearly 30 years in the medical education offices. She has been the medical director of our Willed Body program since 1990. She has served on nearly every committee and subcommittee related to medical education, as well as many committees in the School of Medicine. She has received commendations for her commitment and dedication to community and social justice, and honored with an Exemplary Service Award for Student Affairs by the American Association of Medical Colleges. To highlight just some of her many contributions, she has overseen, with strong leadership by Jess Mandel, curricula changes for the first 2 medical school years, the recent successful medical school review process from the LCME, which is our National Accrediting Board, where we received an 8-year accreditation. That's the longest possible. She helped conceive of the simulation and professional training centers, the concept of a hands-on surgery and anatomy facility, which has become the Center for the Future of Surgery. She has initiated art and impromptu acting courses to improve students' humanistic experiences. All of this was ahead of the curve and led to the rise in national awareness of the UCSD School of Medicine and attracting students like you. Along the way, she has individually risen to high ranks and influence in the American Association of Medical Colleges. And who knows what else she has humbly accomplished without ever tooting her own horn. Mia, thank you, thank you, thank you. And now back to the program.
Thank you, Steve, for those kind words. And to paraphrase the words of George Burns, I really don't deserve them, but I also have this bad pain in my back, and I don't deserve that either. So it is my honor to be here today on the occasion of our 50th anniversary of the School of Medicine. And I think I am the only person here who is also on the stage for the 25th and the 40th anniversaries. And here's where you're also supposed to all be thinking, she doesn't look that old. As a former vice chancellor used to say, UCSD's School of Medicine is the best of the youngest and the youngest of the best. And I think those words are still true today. As the parents in the audience know, despite creaky knees, occasional hip and back pain, 50 is still young. I am envious of our new graduates, for unlike most of us on the stage now, you will be around to see what the next 50 years brings, and that future looks very, very bright. Because it is our celebration year, marching in with the faculty were also over 90 graduates representing every former medical school graduating class. Would all our alums, the graduates of the School of Medicine, please stand? Thank you. Thank you, thank you for coming today, and thank you for your support of the School of Medicine. All our alums are special, but I would also like to acknowledge 2 very special alums in our audience. Dr. Dan Blanchard, Professor of Cardiology, UCSD graduate, and Chair of our National Alumni Board. Dan does a lot of work for you, alumni. Please dance, please stand. And also Dr. Rhonda Henry Tillman. Rhonda, please stand. Rhonda is a 1992 graduate who 3 weeks ago was named Physician of the Year for the state of Arkansas. She was honored by the campus last evening for her amazing work, both in treating breast cancer as a surgeon and in getting women access to health care so that they could not die from their breast cancer, for reducing health care disparities. And she now actually is the governor's appointed person to the Committee on Marijuana in the state of Arkansas. Graduates, this has been your home for the past however many years. And as our chancellor rightly maintains, once you become alumni, this is still your home. All of you come home often. And if you can't come home, still let us know how you're doing. I understand there's this thing called Facebook and Snapchat and all of those things. So let us know how you are doing. If I have a legacy here at the School of Medicine, it isn't in a paper on my CV. It isn't in a great scientific experiment or a great scientific discovery. It's actually in you and in you. So, you must do great things. For in the long run, I want to take credit for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Savoya. And now I would like to introduce almost MD, maybe half hour away, Cecilia Leggett, today's speaker from the graduating class of 2019 and the class president. Cece graduated, I should tell you, she gave me 2 sentences to introduce her. Then she sent me her CV. It could have been the whole book, but I did condense it, honest. Cece graduated from UC Berkeley in 2012, majoring in public health. She is passionate about public policy and advocacy. Before starting medical school, she completed a Teach for America term of service near Washington, D.C., where she taught 7th grade science and led both the vocal performance and urban farm clubs at a public school in an underserved community. During medical school, much of her extracurriculum involvement focused on medical school advocacy, on healthcare policy and public health at local, state, and national levels. She is a 2019 class president, was a recipient of the UC San Diego Integrity Award, and was nominated by her peers and endorsed by the School of Medicine faculty to be a member of the Gold Humanism Honor Society. In addition to all that, during medical school, Cece worked in the California State Assembly as an intern, represented UCSD medical students in our 2018 LCME National Accreditation Reviews, raised over $9,000 for the class of 2019, helped create and promote a medical school course entitled Business in Medicine. Maybe you should teach some of us that too. Organized student, developed and led political awareness guides and educational activities, was regional chair for the AMA student section, published 2 papers, presented at 3 national meetings, and was first author on 6 editorials for a variety of topics for national, state, and local organization papers and briefings. Wow. And she graduated. Almost. After medical school, Cece will continue her professional training as a resident in obstetrics and gynecology at Cedars-Sinai in Los Angeles. Please join me in welcoming Cece Leggett.
Thank you, Dean Garfin, for that introduction. That's definitely not what I wrote. To Chancellor Khosla, Vice Chancellor Brenner, Dr. Besser, our School of Medicine deans, faculty, and alumni, good morning. To our family and friends, thank you for getting us here today and across the finish line. And to my class of 2019, congratulations. Today, we are celebrating an incredibly talented and compassionate group of people. 4 years ago, we were told that going to medical school would be like trying to take a sip of water from a fire hose. And they weren't wrong. It was really hard, but we did it. And now we are mere moments away from becoming physicians, entering this field at an incredible moment in history, and getting ready to be the doctors that can and will shape the future of medicine. In the past 4 years, whether on a test or asked by an attending, we answered thousands of questions. But I think we have one question left to answer before we leave campus today, and that is, what will be our lasting memory of UC San Diego School of Medicine? I think the answer will be different for each of us. For me, UCSD will always represent opportunity. When I applied to medical school, I was offered just one interview at one medical school, this school. And though that one acceptance should have been a victory that lifted me up, there were times when it felt more like evidence that maybe I didn't belong here. Can I really do this? What if UCSD admissions was wrong about me? Dr. Kelly, are you sure? But didn't we all feel this way, at least at some point during our time in medical school? Residency, our collective next chapter, will be challenging. There will probably be moments, hopefully fleeting, where we experience doubt, nervousness, uncertainty. When those moments arise, I know my memories of UCSD will bring me reassurance. For me, UCSD is my reminder to seize opportunities for growth and learning with confidence and to believe in myself. Because despite whatever moments of doubt I had along the way, here I am today. Here you are today, and if you also struggled with feelings of maybe you didn't belong, well, today's overwhelming, indisputable evidence that we do. We are about to become doctors, and what an amazing time to be entering this field. In the past few years, healthcare has completely captured our nation's attention. We are entering the profession at a moment in history when, one way or another, our country is looking to redefine healthcare delivery. As physicians, we are the front lines of American healthcare. We bear witness to its failures and its successes. Our patients, our families, even our legislators will want to know, Doctor, what should we do? Now, as new residents, we won't have all the answers, not right away, but I believe it's part of our duty to figure out how to answer that question and use our positions of privilege as physicians to advocate for better quality and better access to care for all. While we're on the subject of healthcare, what about our own healthcare? We are also entering this field at a time when physician wellness is a priority at residency programs throughout the country. When I was on the interview trail, every single program director mentioned their wellness initiatives. Why is that? I think medicine attracts hardworking personalities. We push ourselves when we're tired. When our brains are fully saturated with information, we strive to learn just one more fact. But isn't it ironic that in making others well, we sometimes neglect our own wellness? We're tough, but we're not invincible, and we need to take care of ourselves. You know how when you're taking a flight, regardless of what airline, the crew always gives the same safety presentation. And you may leave your headphones on, you might even keep playing Candy Crush, but one piece of advice sticks with us. Put your oxygen mask on before assisting others. This advice makes sense on an airplane, and I think it's going to apply to residency as well. If we want to take care of patients safely, effectively, and compassionately, we must be willing to also take care of ourselves. I hope that we all, myself included, remember that advice in a few short weeks as we start residency. So, if your program is implementing wellness initiatives, let's participate in them. If they ask us to visualize our joy for 2 minutes in between patients, let's try it, even if we have our doubts. Call your loved ones, rest when you need to, stock your fridge with plenty of food, including ice cream, and most important, act with kindness. It is amazing how something as simple as being nice can lift your own spirits. So let's act with kindness towards our colleagues, towards the medical students that we will be entrusted to teach, towards our patients, but also let's act with kindness and compassion towards ourselves. The medical field is changing in so many ways, and again, I marvel at what an incredible time it is to enter this field. As doctors, we will spend our careers on the front lines of innovation and medical advancement, but progress and change within our field isn't limited to scientific advancement. The face of our field is changing. Medical schools across the country have made improving diversity within the medical field a priority, and there has been a lot of success to celebrate. For example, last year, for the first time in history, women represented the slight majority of both applicants and matriculants to medical schools in the United States. It's an amazing step forward. However, there's still much work to do in other areas. Particularly, we have a lot of work to do in ensuring racial equity and diversity in our field. Today, African Americans represent just 7% of medical students, and Hispanic students, just 6%. It's not equity, it's not okay. Diversity is important within our field, whether that diversity is based on ethnic background, race, gender, sexuality, religion, geography, and whether that means from coast to coast or even transcending the international borders that attempt to divide us. Diversity is imperative if we are to deliver excellent care to our patients. Now, I know this from personal experience. During an away rotation on labor and delivery, I had a patient who only spoke Arabic. And after her delivery, she seemed kind of down. And not your typical just delivered a baby without an epidural kind of down. Something felt kind of off, but she insisted that she was fine. I was worried that there was a cultural barrier between us that was getting in the way of my ability to assess her. Luckily, the psychiatrist on call not only spoke Arabic, but he was from her same country. So we put in a consult. The next day, I went to say goodbye to the patient, and she told me with her husband translating that she had felt safe with that psychiatrist because he didn't just know her language, he knew her culture. And because she felt safe, she was able to share that she had been experiencing active suicidal thoughts, that she moved here as a refugee, was a victim of war, and hadn't spoken to her family since arriving in the States. She held my hand and she said, "Thank you for helping me share my pain." She was discharged with a plan in place to see a local psychiatrist with whom she felt comfortable. That is the power of diversity in medicine. Diversity among our colleagues enables us to deliver care that can save lives. Equity and inclusion initiatives often call upon people to become allies for causes related to diversity. And I know that all of us here at UCSD consider ourselves allies. But I want to call upon my class, and everyone here, if you're willing, to take it one step further. Famous American author Ta-Nehisi Coates once explained in an interview that we need to go beyond becoming allies to other people, and instead we must understand that you're not helping someone in a particular struggle. The fight is yours. As we continue our medical careers, I hope we will all be active supporters of diversity in medicine. When a door of opportunity opens for you, reach back and pull others in with you. Recognize your own biases and don't be afraid to confront them head on. When you see bias from a colleague or the system, be bold and speak up. We can build upon the great work that has been done towards diversity, inclusion, and equity within our field. Now, I'll close here, but I want to say to family and friends that we are celebrating a really special group of people today. If I mentioned the achievements of every single person in my class, we would be here until the next white coat ceremony. But you do have your programs to get an idea of our eclectic interests and the commitment to service among my classmates. But I do want to paint a picture for you, give you an idea of the class that we're celebrating today. Ginny Chang. Ginny created the food pantry at our student-run free clinic, which has supplied one of San Diego's most vulnerable patient populations with a steady supply of food for the past 4 years and will continue to do so long after she graduates with us today. We are dedicated. We serve our communities. Rachel Van Holbeck. I once served on a panel with her at orientation for the class of 2022. A student asked her, "What do you do to relieve stress?" And she said, "I enjoy working out." Now, Rachel is a gold medal winning Olympian in women's soccer. If I had her medal, I would talk about it. I would be wearing it right now. But she didn't use that moment to brag or humble brag. She just answered the student's question. We are humble. We're strong. David Lee. He was the chair of the medical student section of the California Medical Association. So in addition to his normal coursework and away rotations as an emergency medicine applicant, it was his job to organize the advocacy efforts of all the medical students in the state of California. Because of him, we had a loud, compelling, and organized voice in Sacramento and Washington, D.C. We are advocates. We are leaders. When we started medical school, Chaitna Pathak was the only parent in our class. If you ask her, she'll tell you that even with an impending final exam, having a little life to take care of when she got home gave her invaluable perspective about the important things in life. And when it comes to capacity for hard work, she was an example to us all. Come fourth year, we have a couple new parents in my class. We have Rachel, Joel, Alex, and Graham. And like all the family and friends here today who supported us and got us to this happy day, we too are caretakers. That's just the tiniest glimpse of the amazing work and the amazing class before you today. We are a strong group of future physicians. We are dedicated to serving and advocating for our patients. We are the products of mentorship by UCSD faculty and alumni. We are the graduating class on UCSD's 50th anniversary, and we are the future of medicine, and the future is bright. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations.
Well, she certainly spoke for her class. Thank you, Cece. David, I apologize. You shouldn't have put me up here. I'm going to divert one more time from protocol. In honor of the 50th year anniversary of UC San Diego, the students of the class of 2019 would like to recognize two members of the UCSD family whose time here have helped shape the experience of hundreds of UCSD students over the years. The class of 2019's first honoree will be presented by Anna Ortiz and Nima Munir.
Good morning. It's an honor to stand before you today to thank our former Dean of Diversity and Inclusion, Director of the Program in Medical Education Health Equity, and role model pediatrician, Dr. Willie Sacobo. Dr. Willie Sacobo has served as a fierce advocate for underrepresented students in medicine, as a champion for reducing health inequities in San Diego and beyond. She has been our shoulder to cry on during overwhelming obstacles and our loudest cheerleader when working towards our goals. I know I speak for many students here today when I say that Dr. Willie Sacobo believed in us when it was hard for us to believe in ourselves.
She has created a platform at UCSD for work that may not always be valued in medicine, but is very important in achieving healthier communities and advancing medical education. Some examples include teaching health education to high school students, conducting research in health inequities in neurosurgery, improving access to medical care for immigrant and refugee communities, and increasing diversity in each graduating medical school class. And the list goes on. Dr. Willie Sacobo, we cannot thank you enough. You're an inspiration to all of us, and I cannot wait to see how many more students and patients' lives you touch through your future endeavors. Would you please come up?
And now I'd like to call up Elizabeth Anderson and Nathan Fuller for the second honoree.
Since arriving at UCSD at the start of her residency, Dean Savoya has served our medical school in countless ways, culminating in her role as Dean of Medical Education. Several of my classmates and I got to know her better as the clinician facilitator of our 2-year seminar in the practice of medicine. We were all especially inspired by her stories, which reveal respect and care for all of her patients, by the kind interest she took in each one of her medical students, and by the example she sets for us with her incredible career. Everybody graduating today has benefited from her work. We are grateful for the sophisticated medical education building she helped make a reality, very thoughtfully designed to promote interactive learning and community, which have characterized our time here. But I will never forget Dean Savoya sharing that her most important role in leadership is fostering the success of those around her, from students to faculty. Her recruitment of and investment in our mentors has perhaps had the most profound impact. Dean Savoya, on behalf of our class, thank you.
Lindia and Mia, congratulations. Now we're back on script. I've had the pleasure of introducing a number of people today, and it has been a pleasure. This might be one of the best. I have the pleasure of introducing our guest speaker, Dr. Richard Besser. Dr. Besser is president and CEO of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, the largest private foundation in the country devoted solely to improving the nation's health. Dr. Besser and his team are focused on building a comprehensive culture of health that provides everyone in America with a fair and just opportunity to live the healthiest life possible. They believe that access to healthy food, clean air and water, safe housing, secure employment at a living wage, transportation, education, and elimination of barriers from discrimination are all important contributors to health and well-being. Just as an aside, Dr. Besser, are you interested in running for president? It would be welcome. Sorry. Before the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, Dr. Besser served as chief health and medical editor for ABC News, where he provided reports and medical analysis. Dr. Besser has also been director of the Coordinating Office for Terrorism Preparedness and Emergency Response at the CDC, and then acting director of the CDC in 2009. For his leadership, Dr. Besser received the Surgeon General's Medallion. Perhaps most importantly to us, earlier in his career, Dr. Besser spent 5 years in the UC San Diego School of Medicine Pediatric Department as their residency director. Dr. Besser received his medical degree from the University of Pennsylvania. He completed his residency in pediatrics at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore. He is a member of the National Academy of Medicine. According to Mark Sawyer, the current director of our pediatric residency program, Dr. Besser was a very thoughtful leader during his time at UC San Diego. He brought a new perspective with his public health background, formed excellent relationships with the residents, and advocated for them. His colleagues were sad to see him return to CDC after his time here, but his influence is still with us. Of note, Dr. Besser's book still sits on Dr. Sawyer's desk. It is my honor to introduce Richard Besser.
I am always microphone challenged, so. Dean Garfin, thank you very much for the very kind introduction. Members of the class of 2019, it is truly an honor to share this special moment with you and with the people who helped you get this far. Your family, your professors, your friends and loved ones. As a father, having sat through graduations, I know how proud they are of you at this moment, how glad they are you've accomplished what you set out to do. It's especially meaningful for me to be here at UCSD. My first real job after my fellowship was here as an assistant professor and a residency director in the Department of Pediatrics. Stan Mendoza, who was the chair of the department, took a chance on me and gave me the opportunity to work with an incredible group of residents. Lindia was one of those at the time. Incredible faculty, and to provide care to a rich and diverse community here in San Diego. And I'm forever grateful to him for that opportunity. My wife and I moved here soon after we were married. We bought our first house here. Both of our boys were born at UCSD. And leaving here was one of the hardest things we ever did. It took my wife at least 2 years to forgive me for that move. But it was the time I spent at UCSD that got me off on the right foot in terms of my career. So my goal this morning is to share some advice, hopefully some inspiration. Because I'm a big believer in the power of narrative, I'll throw a story in there. And I'm going to do it in about 15 minutes, since I know the best commencement speakers keep it short and they get out of the way so that you can have your moment here on stage. You're the 50th class of the medical school, and you're going to go on to do great things. Just hearing from one of your classmates just gives me a sense of the people you are, the values you hold. It's impossible to predict what your careers are going to be like, just as it was impossible for me 33 years ago to know where mine would go when I graduated medical school. My first piece of advice to you is to be open to thinking about your role as a doctor in new ways. Over the 50 years of history of UCSD, that role has changed dramatically, and it's going to continue to do so. You enter the field of medicine at an incredible time. You're entering at a time when more and more people are getting access to care. You're entering at a time when our understanding of genomics and epigenetics and how to manipulate genes is blossoming. And you're entering medicine at a time when the conversation about population health and what it takes to be healthy is changing radically. I'm filled with excitement and with a little bit of envy, or a lot of envy, because it's going to be an incredible path that you're on. To be entering right now is to be embarking on an incredible journey with the potential for improving health and preventing disease across the globe. And I can't wait to see where the journey takes you and what you accomplish for others. I've had the privilege in my career to approach improving health from many different perspectives. As a clinician, as a teacher, an epidemiologist, public health professional, medical journalist, and now a philanthropist. It's like I can't keep a job. But I'm always interested to see what a different perspective to the same problems can bring in terms of looking at solutions. A little story that helped me think about health a bit differently. So it was about 10 years ago, and it was early at my time at ABC News. I found myself sitting on the ground outside a wood and thatched hut in the small African nation of Burkina Faso. And I was eating sweet potato fries with this young mother and her two children. It was about 115 degrees outside, and a dry wind was blowing. And my camera crew was concentrating on capturing the expressions on the kids' faces as they dug into this bowl of beautiful orange fries. And a smile came across my face, and I almost couldn't contain myself. And I thought, it doesn't get much better than this. So what was I doing there, and why was I so happy about it? Well, I can tell you that as a kid, I never had thoughts of growing up to be a TV doctor. When ABC News reached out to me and offered me a job as their health and medical editor, my initial response was to laugh. I was a public health professional. I'd never thought about television news as something that public health people did, and I didn't get my news on TV. But the swine flu pandemic in 2009 changed my thinking. At that time, I was the acting director of the Centers for Disease Control. And in responding to that pandemic, we used communications as a primary tool. We helped people understand how the outbreak was unfolding, what we were doing to respond, and what people could do to protect themselves. This approach led to an incredibly high level of confidence in our actions, and it likely led people to do things that truly kept them safe. So as I thought about this job at ABC News, it struck me that if I really wanted to shape how people thought about the drivers of health and the solutions to health problems, I needed to go retail and take the message of public health directly to the public. Which takes me to why I was eating sweet potato fries in Africa. So a leading cause of preventable blindness in children around the world is a deficiency in vitamin A. And the typical public health approach to this deficiency is to go into villages twice a year with these little capsules of vitamin A. And you would literally squeeze them into children's mouths. And that would be enough vitamin A to last them for that 6-month period. But in Burkina Faso, they were taking a different approach to the same problem, one that wasn't medical. Orange foods, like the American sweet potato, have high levels of vitamin A. But the sweet potato that grows naturally in Burkina Faso and many parts of Africa, it's white. So it doesn't have vitamin A in it. So public health people introduced a hybrid sweet potato, one that combined the indigenous white potato that grew really well with the imported orange variety. It introduced vitamin A into the food supply in a natural way. And it was the simplicity of this solution that made me smile. And the fact that I was telling this story on television made me smile even more. Because there I was doing exactly what I'd set out to do when I first went into medicine. And it's helping people understand health in new ways. Helping people understand how children in an African village now had an opportunity to lead healthier lives that wasn't there before. You know, because one of the things that has become clear is that the opportunity to lead a healthy life is not evenly or fairly distributed around the world or even here in America. I've seen these inequities in every clinic in which I've worked. I remember seeing this little boy in a community clinic in Atlanta. He was thin and he wasn't gaining weight. We asked detailed questions about his nutritional intake. We examined him carefully. We ran a few diagnostic tests. And we still couldn't figure out why he wasn't growing. It wasn't until the clinic registrar developed a trusted relationship with his mother did we learn that he simply wasn't getting enough to eat. The family was poor, they were undocumented immigrants, and they weren't able to get services. Their story is not unique. 1 in 6 children in America live in households where getting enough to eat is not guaranteed. In New York City, I worked in a community clinic that provided care to children who were largely in foster care. And I remember talking to this grandmother who was the foster caregiver for her grandchildren. We were talking about the importance of exercise. And I'd been at CDC, and I told her about the CDC guidelines that said you should get an hour of exercise 5 days a week. She said she knew the recommendations. However, her grandchildren, who she loved very much, spent their afternoons in front of the television. It just wasn't safe to go outside and play. And then at a clinic called Centro de Promoción de Salud Esperanza. It's just across the border from San Diego in Tijuana, Mexico. It's about 20 miles from the UCSD Medical Center in Hillcrest. The clinic there is run by an incredible group of Catholic nuns, and it's located right on the edge of this large garbage dump. I took pediatric residents there each month when I was the residency director here. And we drive across the border to help provide medical care to children whose families earned a living sorting through other people's trash. The air was often smoke-filled from burning tires, and access to clean water to drink or to wash was scarce. We saw incredible resiliency. Those parents who brought their children in to be seen loved them as much as parents anywhere. But the barriers that they faced to providing a healthy environment were absolutely stunning. You know, it's clear that personal responsibility is important to leading a healthy life, but the choices people make fundamentally depend on the choices that they have. And for far too many, they just don't have the opportunities that they need. So what does it look like right here in San Diego? There are clues that opportunity is not evenly distributed. According to data from Virginia Commonwealth University, a baby born right here in La Jolla is expected to live on average 88 years. And that's one of the highest life expectancies in the nation. But that potential isn't shared evenly across the county. Head east from here, 20 miles to El Cajon, life expectancy there at birth, 70 years. That's right, 20 miles and a decrease in life expectancy of 18 years. So why is that? Well, what we now know is that there are a lot of factors that contribute to health. Healthcare, while important, plays a relatively small part in overall health and well-being. If, as physicians, we limit ourselves to what takes place in the healthcare setting, we're going to be missing large opportunities to truly impact on patients' lives. Health is connected to every element of our lives. It has to do with the positive and negative exposures we have early in life. It has to do with having housing that is safe and affordable, schools that provide a good education, access to high-quality, nutritious food, and safe places for our kids to play. It's about having jobs that pay a living wage and transportation to get there, and a healthcare system that truly meets the needs of our patients. It's about living on a healthy planet. And it's about removing the pernicious barriers to health caused by structural racism, sexism, ageism, and other forms of discrimination. This is what I work on now at the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. We're trying to change how people think about health. We're committed to building what we call a culture of health in America that recognizes that health is a result of what takes place where we live and work and learn and play and pray. The culture of health has to be built on a foundation of health equity, and that's the idea that everyone should have a fair and just opportunity for health. We're working to put health equity at the heart of everything that we do, and we're committed to shining a light on the fact that too many people start behind and stay behind because they don't have the same opportunities as others. In America, we so often talk about this being the land of opportunity, a land that promises everyone the chance at the American dream. But as a nation, we haven't lived up to that ideal. Our history is filled with barriers set up at every level of society that have created deep-rooted obstacles that continue to limit the opportunity for many people to prosper. Some groups experience a lifetime of opportunities, starting from birth, because our society has set it up that way. And others face a stack of barriers that have nothing to do with how hard they work, how much education they have, because we've set it up that way too. So I challenge you as new physicians to help us see solutions to these problems. See every encounter with your patients as an opportunity and a privilege to understand another person's life, to see what their needs and goals truly are, and to help them have a chance for health and well-being. Remember that every time you sit down with a patient, it's an incredible privilege. With that privilege comes the responsibility to truly listen so you can understand why they're there to see you. And it may not be the first thing that they tell you. Often it's the thing that they tell you right as you're heading out the door. You have your hand on that doorknob. When that happens, sit back down and continue to listen. Solving these problems will take working with people in other sectors, building connections to those in public health, to those providing social services. It's going to take thinking more broadly about the conditions in the communities in which we and our patients live, and how we can help change those conditions to help promote health. And as physicians, we must see this type of work as part of our responsibility. I challenge you today to apply an equity lens to what you pursue throughout your career, to always ask yourself, who is benefiting most from the care you're delivering and who's not? Whose lives are being addressed by the scientific questions that you ask, and who is being left out? How can we ensure that our healthcare systems are fair and just for everyone? Medicine at its finest is truly a tool for social justice. It's those who are newest to the fold, all of you, who most clearly see what needs to change, those who are not dulled by the status quo. So question authority, question your residency directors, question why things are the way that they are. Not too long ago, I met with a group of medical students at another university, and they told me that when they talked to some of their professors about their desire to change the systems by which we deliver health care to better address patients' needs, they were told they were being idealistic, that they were naive, that once they'd worked in the real world for a while, this passion for justice would fade. Don't believe it. If you're lucky enough to have a career in a field that you're passionate about, a career that is helping people lead healthier lives, you're guaranteed to put your heart and soul into the work, and nobody should ever tell you to expect that passion and your vision to die. It hasn't for me, and believe me, it's been a long time since I graduated from anything. Helping people is why most people went into medicine in the first place. It's what motivates me today. I know it's what motivates so many of you. So to close, find your passion, whatever it is. Step out on your journey. Don't be afraid of the challenges, because you never know what doors those challenges will open. And if you can find your passion and follow your dreams. You're going to be happy, no matter how medicine evolves, and you're going to make the world a better place. I welcome you to a field that will offer you endless opportunities, lots of frustrating challenges, and a truly deep sense of fulfillment for years and years to come. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2019.
Thank you, Dr. Besser. There's not a word for it. It certainly was more than interesting. It was insightful. It was illuminating. And to use your words, we felt your passion. Thank you. Okay, now it's time for the Kaiser Excellence in Teaching Awards. Dr. Mark Whitehead, wherever he is. Mark? Hi. Dr. Mark Whitehead, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education, Head of Anatomy, will be assisting me in handing out the awards. The Kaiser Excellence in Teaching Awards are given to School of Medicine faculty who excel in their work as preclinical or clinical instructors. The awards are made possible by a 1974 grant to the university from the Kaiser Foundation Hospitals, quote, to express the high regard held by the physicians and administrators of Kaiser Permanente Medical Care Program for the UC San Diego School of Medicine, unquote. Maybe some of those people will be turning over right now, but I don't know. The winners are selected by each class of medical students. Will the faculty receiving these awards come to the podium as I announce your names? The first-year class selected Dr. Katharina Brandel from Skaggs School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. The second-year class recognized Dr. Michelle Johnson from the Department of Family Medicine and Public Health.
Congratulations.
The third-year class chose Dr. Courtney Hansen from the Department of Medicine. The graduating class has honored and thanked Dr. Gabrielle Wardy from the Department of Emergency Medicine.
Thank you.
Good choices all. We would also like to recognize outstanding members of the House staff. This award is given to House staff who have distinguished themselves in the teaching of third and fourth year medical students. The third and fourth year classes have selected the following House staff members: Dr. Anisha Halabi from the Department of Neurosciences, also Dr. Solomon Greenberg from the Department of Medicine and Pediatrics, who unfortunately is unable to attend, but congratulations. You awake? Okay. Chancellor Khosla will now confer Master of Advanced Studies degrees.
Thank you, Dean Garfin. I was actually waiting for this moment. Were you? Okay. So I know obtaining a medical degree is a substantial accomplishment, as you all know. However, some of our students have chosen to go further to prepare themselves for careers that may combine research and patient care and devote additional years towards earning an advanced degree in the course of their studies at UC San Diego. So would the candidates for the Master of Advanced Studies please rise? There you are. So, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the University of California Regents and the President, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Advanced Studies. Congratulations.
I'm Chancellor Khosla right now, and I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Paul Yu, who is UC San Diego's Interim Dean of the Graduate Studies. Dean Yu will present the Master of Advanced Studies degree.
Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Advanced Studies please come on stage as your name is called? Peter Abraham. Peter is being tutored by Dr. James Murphy from the Department of Radiation Medicine and Applied Sciences. Okay. Ali Alata. Ali is being tutored by Dr. James Murphy from the Department of Radiation Medicine and Applied Sciences. Okay, Michael Brando is being tutored by Dr. Alexander Harkalesi from the Department of Surgery. Next, Brittany Nicole Burton is being tutored by Rodney Gabriel from the Department of Anesthesiology. Matt Gobo is being tutored by Dr. James Murphy from Department of Radiation Medicine and Applied Sciences. Okay. All right, Ginny Chinghu is being tutored by Dr. James Murphy from the Department of Radiation Medicine and Applied Sciences. Ian Kusari is being tutored by Dr. James Murphy from the Department of Radiation Medicine and Applied Sciences. Christian Giovanni Lopez Ramos is being tutored by Dr. James Murphy from the Department of Radiation Medicine and Applied Sciences. Jennifer Powell is being tutored by Dr. Bahar Sahidi from the Department of Orthopedic Surgery. Reeve Roy Saka is being tutored by Dr. James Murphy from the Department of Radiation Medicine and Applied Sciences. This concludes the conferrals of the Master of Advanced Study degrees.
The Doctor of Philosophy degree recognizes independent completion of an important research project under the guidance of a mentor, and thus the generation of new knowledge that may someday affect patient care. In this way, it differs fundamentally from the breadth and the emphasis on acquisition of scientific knowledge and the clinical skills that characterize the MD. Thus, the MD PhD recipients we honor at this ceremony have truly demonstrated intense mastery of one topic and have made sacrifices deserving of most special recognition, as I'm sure their friends and family can attest to. So would the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy please rise? As candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy, voluntarily you have submitted yourself to the traditional disciplines that become the scholar in the pursuit of knowledge and have proved yourself worthy of this high calling. So, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the University of California Regents and the President, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy please come to the stage as your name is called? David Hadil Adamovich is being tutored by Dr. Laurie Wan from the Department of Medicine. His doctoral thesis is entitled Elucidating the Basis for Memory Impairment in Dementia with Lewy Bodies. Yusin Cindy Liu is being tutored by Dr. Laurie Wan from the Department of Medicine. Her doctoral thesis is entitled Ultrastructure of Melanopsin Expressing Retinal Ganglion Cell Circuitry in the Retina and Brain Regions that Mediate Light-Driven Behavior. Jeffrey Weiner is being tutored by Dr. Laurie Wan from the Department of Medicine. His doctoral thesis title is Neurovascular Interaction for Retinal Development and Disease. This concludes the conferral of the Doctor of Philosophy degrees. I now return the ceremony to Dean Garfin.
Thanks, Paul. Now I would like to invite Dr. Luis Castellanos, Director of the Program in Medical Education, Health Equity, to the podium to introduce the graduating Prime Health Equity students.
Thank you, Dean Garfin. The Program in Medical Education and Health Equity, or Prime Health Equity as we like to call it, is an inclusive program designed to build on the medical students' interest in health equity, as well as provide community service. One of the goals is to develop leaders that will help eliminate health disparities and treat vulnerable populations in underserved communities. In addition to completing a medical degree, each student is required to obtain a master's degree in a discipline of their choice. I would like for each Prime Health Equity student to please stand and remain standing to be recognized as your name is called. Boya Abudu. Master of Public Health, Harvard T. Chang School of Public Health. Natalia Maria Calderon. Master of Public Health, University of California, Berkeley School of Public Health. David Hubbard. Master of Public Health, Harvard Tia Chan, School of Public Health. Christian Giovanni Lopez Ramos, Master of Public Health, Harvard Tia Chan, School of Public Health, and Master of Advanced Studies, University of California, San Diego. Naima Anisa Munir, Multidisciplinary Community Engagement to Address Racial Health Disparities, University of California, San Diego. Ana Karen Ortiz Elizaliturri, Master of Public Health, Harvard Tia Chan, School of Public Health. Griffin Tyree, Master of Advanced Studies, University of California, San Diego. Congratulations to all the prime students.
Now I would like to invite Dr. Sarah Averbach, Director of the Global Health Academic Concentration, to the podium to introduce the graduating Global Health students.
The Global Health Academic Concentration is a program which aims to provide students with the knowledge and experience necessary to prepare them for careers in global health by learning about the complexities and challenges of global healthcare delivery and the social structural determinants of global health inequities. In addition to completing a medical degree, each student is required to complete the requisite coursework and 2 mentored global health rotations. I would like for each Global Health Academic Concentration student to please stand and remain standing to be recognized as your name is called. Dustin Barfield, not in attendance today, research in Maputo, Mozambique, and clinical rotation in Dhulikhel, Nepal. Sarah Beth Tomiko Brenner, research in Maputo, Mozambique, and clinical rotation in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Joel David Kloss, research in Quito, Ecuador, and clinical rotation in Tijuana, Mexico. Congratulations to our first graduating class.
Okay, now the one word everybody on this side has been thinking of. Finally. I would now like to invite Dr. Kama Galuma, Associate Dean for Admissions and Student Affairs, to present the class of 2019, and Chancellor Kosla will confer the medical degrees.
Candidates for the degree, Doctor of Medicine, you have submitted yourselves to the intellectual and emotional disciplines that become the scholar in the pursuit of knowledge and the healer of the sick. You have proved yourselves worthy of this high calling. So would you please rise? So by virtue of the authority vested in me by the University of California Regents and the President, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Medicine. You may be seated. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chancellor Kosla. Much appreciated. We will now start the part of the ceremony wherein each graduate receives their Doctor of Medicine hood from a chosen faculty member. Let me take a moment, though, to explain the graduation attire. Right? Academic dress dates back to the 12th century, when wearing of hoods and robes originated out of a need to keep warm in unheated buildings. Now it keeps us warm in this gloomy June weather here in sunny Southern California. But later, as the hoods became used as a way to differentiate and recognize various grades of scholars, they took on a different meaning. Our students and faculty are wearing doctoral gowns, which are distinguished from bachelor's and master's gowns by their bell sleeves, velvet panels down the front, velvet chevrons on the sleeves. The academic hoods utilize colors to signify both the academic institution as well as the degree earned. The hoods for the MD degree have a Kelly green velvet or velveteen trim. It's not after Dean Kelly, by the way. It's a different Kelly green. Yeah. And it signifies medicine. The PhD hoods have a dark blue velvet, and that's regardless of the field in which the PhD was obtained. These colors are specific to the United States. The satin within the hood signifies the institution by color. Our students will proudly wear the blue and gold of the University of California. Graduates, as I announce your names, will you join your faculty on the stage to accept your hood and then walk across to receive your certificate from Dean Garfin and Dean Savoya? Okay. So first up, we have Peter Abraham, who will be hooded by Dr. Jason Handwerker from the Department of Radiology. Next, we have Boya Abudu, who will be hooded by Dr. Lindia Villas-Jacobo, Assistant Dean Emeritus, previously in the Department of Pediatrics. Next, we have David Adamovich, who will be hooded by Dr. Lori Wan from the Departments of Medicine and Pediatrics. Next, we have Ali Alatur, who will be hooded by Dr. James Murphy from the Department of Radiation Medicine and Applied Sciences. Next, we have Elizabeth Anderson, who will be hooded by Dr. Carolyn Kelly, Associate Dean Emeritus and from the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Shannon Astley, who will be hooded by Dr. Alana Iglevitz from the Department of Psychiatry. Next, we have Dr. Aaron Block, well, soon he'll be a doctor, which I just got ahead of myself there, who will be hooded by me from the Department of Emergency Medicine. Next, we have Michael Brandel, who will be hooded by Dr. Alexandra Kalesi from the Department of Neurosurgery. Next, we have Sarah Brenner, who will be hooded by Dr. Sharon Reed from the Department of Pathology. Next, we have Brittany Burton, who will be hooded by Dr. Rodney Gabriel from the Department of Anesthesiology. Next, we have Natalia Calderon, who will be hooded by Dr. James Cavalos in family medicine. Next, we have Maricela Cardenas, who will be heard by Dr. O. Douglas Wilson in the Department of Pediatrics. Next, we have David Carlson, who will be hooded by Dr. Dilip Jeste from the Department of Psychiatry.
Cancer survivor and my brother! We love you, Davy, baby! I love you back!
Next, we have Jenny Chang, who will be hooded by Dr. Sunny Smith from the Department of Family Medicine and Public Health. Next, we have Leslie Chang, who will be hooded by Dr. Deborah Cado from the Department of Family Medicine and Public Health. Next, we have Victoria Chang, who will be hooded by Dr. Pearl Yu from the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Stella Xiang Chen, who will be hooded by Dr. Richard Gallo from the Department of Dermatology. Next, we have Evelyn Cheng, who will be hooded by me, Department of Emergency Medicine. Next, we have Abhijit Chitlor, who will be holding Dr. Charles Goldberg, the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Ian Koblenz, who will be hooded by Dr. Sunny Smith from the Department of Medicine, Family Medicine and Public Health. Next, we have Megan Cochran, who will be hooded by Dr. Charles Goldberg in the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Jeffrey Cohen, who will be hooded by Dr. David Rappaport in the Department of Surgery. Next, we have Jason Compton, who will be hooded by Dr. Mark Krachevsky in the Department of Neurosciences. Next, we have Edwin Contreras, who will be hooded by Dr. Charles Goldberg, Department of Medicine. Next, we have Natasha Cowan, who will be hooded by Dr. Natalie Rodriguez in the Department of Family Medicine and Public Health. Next, we have Megan Craig, who will be hooded by Dr. Lori Wan in the Departments of Medicine and Pediatrics. Next, we have Cecilia Daliore, who will be hooded by Dr. Hal Meltzer in neurosurgery. Next, we have Nicole DeMartinis, who will be hooded by me, Department of Emergency Medicine. Next, we have Catherine Dern, who will be hooded by Dr. Sunny Smith in the Department of Family Medicine and Public Health. Next, we have Payal Desai, who will be hooded by Dr. Neil Farber in the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Samantha DeWald, who will be hooded by Dr. Yvette Lecourcier in the Department of Obstetrics, Gynecology, and Reproductive Sciences. Next, we have Ali Durucci, who will be hooded by Dr. Linda Willis Jacobo, Assistant Dean Emeritus from the Department of Pediatrics. Next, we have Paul Duru, who is hooded by Dr. Joseph Chachi from the Department of Surgery. Next, we have Elizabeth Epstein, who will be hooded by Dr. Christopher Suhar in cardiology. Next, we have Ted Ferrand, who will be hooded by Dr. Greg Light in the Department of Psychiatry. Next, we have Charles Alexander Field, who will be hooded by Dr. Lori Wan in the Departments of Medicine and Pediatrics. Next, we have Nathaniel Fuller, who will be hooded by Dr. Sherry Wong from the Department of Pediatrics. Next, we have Ryan Gleiber, who will be hooded by me. Next, we have Matt Goebel, who will be hooded by Dr. Jorge Fernandez from the Department of Emergency Medicine. Next, we have Adam Gould, who will be hooded by Dr. Stephen Gould and Jennifer Roby in psychiatry. Next, we have Ariane Gushu, who will be hooded by Dr. Sunny Smith from the Departments of Family Medicine and Public Health. Next, we have Allison Hahn, who will be hooded by Dr. Lawrence Eichenfield from the Department of Dermatology. Next, we have Graham Heimler, who will be hooded by Dr. Chad Osborne from the Department of Family Medicine and Public Health. Next, we have Jenny Hu, who will be hooded by Dr. Jeffrey Lee from the Department of Surgery. Next, we have David Hubbard, who will be hooded by Dr. Lindia Willis-Jacobo, Assistant Dean Emeritus from the Department of Pediatrics. Next, we have Michelle Kaiser, who will be hooded by Dr. Lori Wan from the Departments of Medicine and Pediatrics. Next, we have Sohini Khan, who will be hooded by Dr. Joel Baumgartner from the Department of Surgery. Next, we have Joel Klaus, who will be hooded by Dr. Margaret Jolly in Family Medicine. Next, we have Eric Kramer, who will be hooded by Dr. Lori Wan from the Departments of Medicine and Pediatrics. Next, Ayan Kusari, who will be hooded by Dr. Sheila Friedlander from the Department of Dermatology. Next, we have Angel Labastide, who will be hooded by Dr. Lindia Willis-Jacobo, Assistant Dean Emeritus from the Department of Pediatrics. Next, we have Alexandra Lambeck, who will be hooded by Dr. Martin Luther Kabongo from the Department of Family Medicine and Public Health. Next, we have Tyler Landman, who will be hooded by Dr. Sean Evans from the Department of Neurosciences. Next, we have Cecilia Leggett, who will be hooded by Dr. Robert Hertzka in anesthesiology. Next, we have David Lee, who will be hooded by Dr. Hertzka in anesthesiology. Next, we have Yushin Cindy Liu, who will be hooded by Dr. Pearl Yu from the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Christian Giovanni Lopez Ramos, who will be hooded by Dr. Alexander Kalasi from the Department of Surgery. Next, we have Alexander Lubasuk, who will be hooded by Dr. Charles Goldberg from the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Mandakini Mohindra, who will be hooded by Dr. Charles Goldberg in the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Naima Munir, who will be hooded by Dr. Rodney Hood, Department of Medicine. Next, we have Praneet Mailavaparu, who will be hooded by Dr. Mitul Piyush Patel, Department of Medicine. Next, we have Pushpa Napala, who will be hooded by Dr. James Murphy in the Department of Radiation Medicine and Applied Sciences. Next, we have Brian Nguyen, who will be hooded by Dr. Daniel Chow, Department of Ophthalmology. Next, we have Min Chao Melissa Nguyen, who will be hooded by Dr. Charles Goldberg from the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Keenan Masami Onodera, who will be hooded by Dr. Samuel Ward, Department of Orthopedic Surgery. Next, we have Hannah Oppenheim, who will be hooded by Dr. Tony Lopez, Department of Medicine. Next, we have Ana Ortiz Eliza Leturi, who will be hooded by Dr. Linda Villas Jacobo, Assistant Dean Emeritus, Department of Pediatrics. Next, we have Jennifer Padwal, who will be hooded by Dr. Bahar Shahidi in the Department of Orthopedic Surgery. Next, we have Nisha Parmeshwar, who will be hooded by Dr. Amanda Gosman in the Department of Surgery. Next, we have Priyanka Patel, who will be hooded by Dr. Sunny Smith from the Department of Family Medicine and Public Health. Have to go a little more slowly here. And next, we have Chaitanya Pathak, who will be hooded by Dr. Gina Rifkin in the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Michael Pimienta, who will be hooded by Dr. Ikihiro Seiki from the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Kevin Porras, who will be hooded by Dr. Alexander Kalesi from the Department of Neurosurgery. Next, we have Sabir Rashid, who will be hooded by Dr. Charles Goldberg from the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Mira Raghunathan, who will be hooded by Dr. Amanda Gosman from the Department of Surgery. Next, we have Jared Rosen, who will be hooded by Dr. Lori Wan from the Departments of Medicine and Pediatrics. Next, we have Nebiu Samuel, who will be hooded by Dr. Dean Savoya, Maria Savoya from the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Reith Sakar, who will be hooded by Dr. James Murphy from the Department of Radiation Medicine and Applied Sciences. Next, we have Akash Sathapan, who will be hooded by Dr. Alana Glivitz from the Department of Psychiatry. Next, we have Benjamin Schmidt, who will be hooded by Dr. Jorge Fernandez, Department of Emergency Medicine. Okay. Thank you. Much appreciated. Next, we have Alexander Schuper, who will be hooded by Dr. Joseph Chachi from the Department of Neurosurgery. Next, we have Catherine Schur, who will be hooded by Dr. Sonny Smith from the Department of Family Medicine and Public Health. Next, we have Gretchen Stumhofer, who will be hooded by me. Next, we have Kavitha Subramanian, who will be hooded by Dr. Perry Party from the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Daniel Gray Trujillo, who will be hooded by Dr. Robert Hertzka in anesthesiology. Next, we have Alan Valdovino, who will be hooded by Dr. V. Sailil Upsani from the Department of Orthopedic Surgery. Have to go a little more slowly here, too. Next, we have Rachel Van Hollebecke, who will be hooded by Dr. Caroline Kelly, Associate Dean Emeritus from the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Kajal Verma, who will be hooded by Dr. J. Mangiardo in Family Medicine. Next, we have Stephanie Marie Walker, who will be hooded by Dr. Lindia Willis Jacobo, Assistant Dean Emeritus from the Department of Pediatrics. Next, we have Sarah Isabella Watler, who will be hooded by Dr. Lindia Willis Jacobo, Assistant Dean Emeritus, Department of Pediatrics. Next, we have Jeffrey Weiner, who will be hooded by Dr. Laurie Wan from the Departments of Medicine and Pediatrics. Next, we have Tyler Werbel, who will be hooded by Dr. Joseph Chachi from the Department of Neurosurgery. Next, we have Teresa Whitchurch, who's going to be hooded by Dr. Sunny Smith from the Department of Family Medicine and Public Health. Next, we have Lu Wu, who will be hooded by Dr. Mary Wang from the Department of Family Medicine and Public Health. Next, we have Victoria Wu, who will be hooded by Dr. Caroline Kelly, Associate Dean Emeritus from the Department of Medicine. Next, we have Kevin Yusufzadeh, who will be hooded by Dr. Maria Savoya from the Department of Medicine. And definitely, last but not least, William Zhu, who will be hooded by Dr. Amanda Gosman from the Department of Surgery. So this concludes the hooding portion of the ceremony. Now our students are not only knowledgeable, and accomplished, but they're also talented as well. As our final students are finishing their commencement photographs, we would like to direct your attention to the area in the front of the musicians. I think, do we have the ultrasounds? They were here earlier. Oh, there they are. Okay. So this is our medical school a cappella group, the Ultrasounds, and they're going to perform a really nice number for us. Thank you.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. It well may be that we may never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have her in mind by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its mooring, like a wind off the sea, like a seed dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. And just to clear the head, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done. You're laying before. But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed.
What a great way to end, huh? Dr. Giovanna Casola. Chair, where is she? There you are, of the Health Sciences Faculty Council, will now lead the class of 2019 in the recitation of the Oath of Hippocrates.
Hello, I hope you have enough voice left to do this. On page 2, you will find the Oath of Hippocrates, and it is truly an honor and a privilege for me to lead this on behalf of the faculty of UCSD. Will the graduating class of 2019 please rise, and please, with passion, please say the oath, the Hippocratic Oath with me. Now, being admitted to the profession of medicine, I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life in the service of humanity. I will give respect and gratitude to my deserving teachers. I will practice medicine with conscience and dignity. The health and life of my patient will be my first consideration. I will hold in confidence all that my patient finds in me. I will maintain honor and the noble traditions of the medical profession. I will not permit consideration of race, gender, religion, nationality, ideology, or social standing to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will maintain the utmost respect for human life and its quality. Even under threat, I will not use my knowledge contrary to the laws of humanity. These promises I make freely and upon my honor. Congratulations.
So that concludes the formal ceremony, but not the celebration. In honor of the 50th anniversary celebration of the School of Medicine, there will be a reception on the lawn in the area in front of the Medical Education and Telemedicine building. You are all invited to attend. Before degowning, this says graduates, but let me say doctors, please gather at the designated area in front of the Learning Center rooms for your class photograph. After the new young doctors' photos are complete, we also ask that the 50th anniversary alumni, who we appreciate being here, also gather at the same location for your special photograph to commemorate this event. Will the audience please stand but remain by your seats until after the recessional has ended? Congratulations, class of 2019, and welcome to the profession of medicine.